Hello, everybody. Welcome to a contentious top 10. I know. Uh, of course, we were wanting to do one over the end of the year. And yes, sorry, there hasn't been much in the way of Sunday Fun Days. They've been kind of scattered and splattered, much like after you get done eating at Waffle House. I don't take credit for that joke. That is pure Larry the Cable Guy. Sorry. But what we really wanted to do though is at least give you the final bit of 2020. There might be
a last dying spark.
Yeah, to get that fucking year out of our heads. I don't know why my bottle just made noise. Just get done with that awful, awful fucking year. So just a couple of things really fast. There will be a best of. It might be a little bit further down the road. Might try and catch some more movies that did come out in 2020. Not because my list is super short. It's just because I know Megan's is kind of like bereft. And there's a lot of, it's okay. It's nothing I would ever consider the best of, though. And I know Megan probably wants something that's actually truly good on her list. Am I correct with that assumption? But also, you may notice the big black dong in the middle between us. And also the sound probably is a little bit different. We are testing out actually using better sound equipment. Sound equipment. The longest, as you could tell, was actually just the camera's actual microphone. That's the reason why sometimes it sounds like ass. And that's usually why the camera's actually a little further back. It's just because we need to have some more room for the mic and pretty much it's where it's resting. So let us know down below if like, hey, the audio sounds kind of crappy. We were kind of testing out earlier. It seemed to be going pretty well. Yeah, is what we'll give it. But hey, enough stalling. Let's get into this miserable fucking year's movies. As always, one honorable mention for each of us. And my honorable mention is a movie that probably, the best way to describe it is, it's not the worst fucking movie ever. For a while, I was pretty sure it was going to end up on my worst stuff. But it's just so goddamn ridiculously stupid. And that, of course, is Bloodshot.
That is absolutely fantastic.
I know it's a bad movie. It's a piece of shit. I gave it a 1 when we originally reviewed it way back in February. God, it's been so long. Or I think it was right at the beginning of March. It might have been like the first week of March, maybe. But holy shit, that movie's still terrible.
Yeah, it was like right at the end of February or early March. Yeah, I think it was like the last movie we saw in theaters where they just shut everything down because fuck COVID.
And because, your grandma will die.
It's like, well, grandma needs to wear some protection. The rest of us are fine.
Yeah, ain't y'all ever heard the wear a raincoat thing, folks? But yeah, despite it being so long since we've seen Bloodshot, I still vividly remember it. But the only reason why it's the honorable mention, even though I admit it's a terrible movie, it's one of the worst movies that's come out, obviously, this year. But it's an infinitely watchable train wreck. It is Batman and Robin levels of just like, oh, you poor dears, y'all did not know what you're doing. You made a piece of shit. Like a massive turd of a film.
Really doesn't help. The trailer just gives it all away.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that, honestly, it's like, out of all the, like, you're going to not do a Marvel or DC film, it's like you decided on a character that, for lack of a better way to describe him, he's RoboCop. It's not a particularly interesting premise, and it just
never... except when nanites, and because of the nanites can self-repair.
Yeah.
So
it's...
whoopee shit.
The movie never got above being the whole time, and But I will tell everybody, it's like, if you want to watch a movie for like a real bad movie, just to sit there and watch it, go watch Bloodshot. It's such a fun movie to make fun of. You have what's his face from Outlander.
Sam Hugan.
Yeah, who obviously
Terrible American accent.
it wafts in different directions of stinky terribleness. It's like sometimes it almost veers right into just being straight English. It's like, okay, cool, thanks. Other times I think he was trying to go for Southern, and then other times it's like he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try and sound like every other schmo I'm hearing. It's so bad, guys, but it's so much fun. Anything you want to say about Bloodshot?
No, just one thing I remember is like bad American accents. Some of the really shitty looking effects, like the little thing on Sam Hugan's back. It's like, that was so fucking ridiculous.
Oh, pretty much made him into like a fucking Killer Instinct character or something.
Yeah, and then the smiley face and the snowy window just.
Yeah, and it's like, why? Why is that what you went with?
It's so ridiculous.
But yeah, it's nothing ever egregiously like anger inducing. So that's just why I couldn't put it on the list of absolutely worst films. For you to be a truly worst movie, you have to blow me away with more than just being like you're adorable and how bad you are, and you had to like actively annoy me. This movie's just fucking stupid. Is the best way to put it. So what about you? What is your honorable mention?
The Old Guard.
I strongly recommend that we leave right now.
I don't know if I put that on there. Yeah, okay, yeah, Old Guard's. I'll let you know, Old Guard's on my list. It's a little further up. In fact, it's funny, we were just talking about that earlier today.
Yeah, so many unanswered questions.
So much issues with the movie, and
Yeah, it's like it had so much potential, I think. Because one, Charlize Theron, badass. And two, like the premise, like this world building of like these immortals and how they can like have visions of each other, have memories of each other once one of them like dies and comes back for the first time. It's like, okay, cool, that's freaking awesome. It's like, I want to know more. But don't give me none. Don't give me.
yeah. I'll say more about the Old Guard whenever we get into it.
Yeah, I think his biggest sin is like it had so much potential and just wasted it.
Very much so. So should we move to my number 10?
Sure.
I am not saying the fucking full title of this. I said I wouldn't in the review.
I think I know.
Goddamn Birds of Prey. DC, what the fuck? You put out like 3 good movies, almost back to back. You had Justice League, and you're gonna do Justice League again for reasons. But you had 3 good movies, and y'all have done nothing but shit the bed since. Look, Shazam, for even its worst fault, is still a good movie. Wonder Woman, for lack of despite the fact that the main bad guy is as intimidating as a pebble, well, it's still a very good movie. Aquaman, despite the fact that it's still Jason Momoa, sometimes his acting does not really fit what it should be, it's still a fucking fantastic movie. Why the shit did we need a sequel to Suicide Squad?
Why did we regress?
Yeah, why did we do a shitty sequel to Suicide Squad based on Harley Quinn that doesn't really bridge together with the other film very well? It's very obviously supposed to be a sequel to it. 1, why would you bother with casting Margot Robbie? 2, why couldn't you be bothered to actually write something to actually explain why the fuck she's not being gone after by Amanda Waller? especially since we've already shown that Amanda Waller is very, very fucking wanting her property in her eyes back. Those who want to watch a much better Amanda Waller, at least in terms of how DCU's treating her, pardon me, watch the Batman Assault on Arkham film. God damn, that Amanda Waller makes me shit my pants every time she comes around. But yeah, there are so many questions just in terms of story, and then you get the entire fact that this is pretty much a Deadpool ripoff. Not a good Deadpool ripoff at that. And just, you have, oh, let's fuck up Renee Montoya. Let's fuck up Cassandra Cain. Let's fuck with Huntress. The only person I think they did decent with it is the main character, because they are working from a fine enough thing, even though Harley does begin to get really, really irritating early on. That's one thing I don't think I touched on enough throughout the review we did way back when. Because, dear God, you get really tired of her just being like... It's almost like she lives in her own world and doesn't realize there's anybody else around there. It's like, okay, that's not 100% how Harley would be, but whatever, these writers are morons.
And for like supposed to be such a girl power movie, like she's moping within the first 20-30 minutes
At
over
least.
Joker breaking up with her, which makes no sense, as I believe we said in our review, that it's like he was willing to move heaven and earth and hell and all these mountains just to get to her on Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Ready to burn the whole city down just for her.
Yeah, and sure, there is, of course, the actual thing is that it is a truly toxic relationship. That's the reason why it's not a relationship we should be looking to.
I'd say it's not relationship goals.
Yeah, I don't. But in the same instance, like, that's not what we were given in Suicide Squad. The only real torture we saw, and even then it was kind of hinted at, was that he put her through electroshock therapy. But even then, it seemed to be her choice still. Not saying that that excuses it, but at that point it's more BDSM than it is abuse.
And it's not really explained how she came to fall for her patient. It's like, what was so charming and charismatic that she was just drawn to him, like, ooh, I must turn to the dark side for him.
Yeah, that would have been something this movie could have touched on if it really wanted to really look into the character. But no, it's all about, we want to say the girl powers, but we're going to fuck over multiple characters and not know how to write to save our fucking lives. Look, I get it. Y'all really want to be... We means we all strong. Women are strong motherfuckers. Pun not fully intended. But here's the thing. You do it through good characterization, good writing. You don't do it through bad writing and butchering characters. Because if you take one of the most well-known Batgirls that there is next to Barbara Gordon and shit down her throat, you're kind of pissing off everybody who was a fan of her, and they're not going to want to fucking see this piece of shit. In fact, nobody really did. Even though this movie was not that expensive to be made, or didn't cost that much to be made, it still barely made much of a headway anywhere. It was not much of a financial success for being a cheap film. And yet, it's... What the fuck, guys? Maybe don't do this shit again? Or you could have just had a movie, if you had it just based around Harley and Black Canary and some girl whose name is not Cassandra Cain, I honestly wouldn't have hated this that much. It would have been good, but...
And also cast a much younger actress for Montoya.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you cut out all the, shitty characters like Cassandra Cain, Huntress, Renee Montoya, because... And also, that's the worst thing. It's like, there's whole characters you could cut out of this movie and you're not losing anything. Like, you lose Renee Montoya, you're not losing anything from this film.
Yeah, but I mean, if they insisted upon having her, like, say, Michelle Rodriguez would have been a better choice.
Yeah.
Someone much more younger and badass.
Yeah, it was such...
Nothing against Rosie Perez. Like, she's old and tired.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rosie. You're over 50, and that's the thing. Renee Montoya, part of the reason why it was such an interesting idea that she became the question was because of the fact she was younger. She was experienced, but she was not like this grizzled old veteran, much like Dan Turpin that you would think from Superman comics. And I know people are going, holy shit, he went nerd-tastic there, talking about side characters of side characters. But, I mean, she still was a younger and not as fully experienced, character. She was also very new to superheroing. But nope, we got the old ass Renee Montoya who looks like she needs a goddamn walker.
And likes to quote cheesy 80s lines because that's her shtick.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, I think you even made a joke in the review. You almost expect her to put on sunglasses as she completes her stupid ass pun.
Mm-hmm. And I expect you to, wow! As I probably peeked out the mic right there. Fuck Birds of Prey. Again, I don't call it by its full title. Hell, I don't think they actually even refer to it nowadays by its full title. I think if you look... No, I think they finally changed it once they moved it to HBO Max, but whatever. Gone on long enough about that turd. What about you? What's your turdy number 10?
Movie we've already talked about. Bloodshot. So.
Hey, yeah.
On to number 9.
Oh, you want to talk more about Vin Diesel and his inability to act? Yeah. Can we all agree on something? Vin Diesel's a terrible actor. I like him as Groot. He's fucking terrible. He's a really bad actor.
Baby Groot, he's so adorable.
Yeah, but that's mostly thanks to the CGI. It's like, he's... It's like everybody who made a big deal. Paul Walker, no, he's a bad actor. He's really bad, y'all. He's terrible.
Yeah, he's like over the top in that first Fast and Furious.
Who, Paul Walker or
yeah,
Vin
Paul
Diesel?
Walker. Paul Walker.
I was like, Vin Diesel's also pretty over the top. You never had me. You never had your car. What the fuck is this? Not only that, it's supposed to be like in LA, and he's like...
Walk.
Yeah, he has very much got a very Eastern accent. It's like, are you from Chicago or New York, somewhere there?
Jersey.
Jersey? As we do our best to like make everybody who does watch these videos from there go, that's not how we talk, assholes.
Well, not everyone from Texas talks with a siren twang, so breathe it.
Yeah, well, it depends on how many beers you get me. Oh, so, my number 9, Megan's talked about, the old guard.
It's nearly impossible to disappear in the world we live in today. Would you like me to take one for you?
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, it's just... Megan's already kind of touched on it. It's a movie that should have had a lot more... Or had a good premise and a lot of promise with some really good actors. And it just did nothing with it. And I get it's based on a comic book, but if a comic book has its own plot holes or, it's more explained in the second one, well, then you need to shift around some of this shit. Because otherwise it doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. There are ways to do this so much better. And it's like this year was trying its best to be the worst comic book movie year ever. And
it was the worst year ever, period, so... It was trying for all the categories, for all...
I would honestly say 1940 probably beat us out in terms of worst years ever. Hitler kind of taking over a good chunk of Europe. This is a lot worse than...
Okay, so the worst year of our generation that we've seen, we've experienced. That make you happy?
I don't know. 2021's turned its best already.
Yeah. Got some that left over from 2020s that just knock it the fuck out.
Oh, so how about you? What is your number 9?
Extraction.
Sometimes I do other things.
I forgot that movie fucking came out. I also fucking did.
Yeah, that's one of his biggest sins. Like, oh yeah, I forgot that was a movie we watched last year. It's just so boring and so predictable and such a waste of Chris Hemsworth. The least he got to use is a natural Australian accent.
Yeah. It's bad whenever you have an action movie that's... It's a snooze fest.
Yeah, it's like, I could not bring myself to care about the little kid that he was rescuing. It's like, I don't give two shits. I don't care. Like, I sort of cared about the guy he was working alongside with. Like, I didn't give a shit about the kid, didn't give a shit about his dad. Barely gave a shit about David Harbour. Almost forgot he was in that movie.
I forgot it was too until you mentioned, like, oh yeah, it was in that movie.
Yeah, like I remember him because he backstabbed.
Chris Hemsworth.
I was about to call him Vin Diesel. God damn it.
Vin Hemsworth.
But oh, what the hell?
Rather Chris Diesel?
No, we were talking so much about Bloodshot. It's like bleeding into my brain.
Like a shot.
Cry drop you in the throat.
It's a little mean. It's about as mean as making somebody sit there and watch Extraction over and over again.
And there are worse punishments.
Yeah, we're getting to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to throw it out there to everybody about action movies, especially in terms of shooting them. It's like, all right, I get y'all want to shoot a lot of these movies with, this one movie isn't fully shaky cam, but there's a lot of kind of shakiness to certain things. You need to spread that shit out. Like, there is the action sequence in which Vin Hemsworth actually saves the kid. I swear. I want to say, I just the fuck with you. But I swear that action sequence is 25 minutes long. Or it might be maybe 20. It's long. And you begin to really tune out throughout it. You can only go so far with action sequences. You need to begin to break them apart, or else you will have that just, I'm beginning to tune out and stop giving a fuck about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Lord of the Rings did it, I think, rather well in the fact that there was a break in the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and you can see how they did it wrong whenever there was just an almost continuous action sequence throughout the last third or even longer of Battle of Five Armies. That movie that even Peter Jackson said, this movie's kind of not good, guys. And even he was like, I'm making this up as I go. And this is shit. Oh, yeah. I did not put Extraction on my list. Because there's a lot
Just
of
because you forgot about it.
And also there's a lot of other shitty movies I need to include. So, should we go to my number 8?
8. And then
This one I think we all kind of forgot about. I forgot about till I was going through the movies. I keep a list here on my phone that has everything. And I was like, oh my god, that movie. I don't even think I did a review for it. If it is, it's probably one nobody really watched, and I don't blame them. Because it's the last thing he wanted.
In the real world, we make real choices.
This was a film that came out March, April-ish or so on Netflix. It starred, fuck's her name, I can't remember it, It's not Amy. I really want to say Amy Adams, and I don't think that's right. Might be Amy Adams, but it does have Ben Affleck in it. I remember that, and it's supposed to be a pseudo spy thriller, and it is so monumentally stupid. That is the best way to describe this movie. It is the dumbest film I have sat through, and it is 2.5 hours fucking long. It is me just. Is it over yet? And I was sitting there, I was like, why did I never review that? And I'm like, oh yeah, because the movie drained my brain so bad that I was sitting there trying to remember shit. And I'm like, I do remember it, but I just remember just the quote clue, just anger and red and
flames on the side of my face.
Yeah, that's all I could remember is just anger the entire time watching this movie. I don't know how Netflix can have some of the best movies ever to have hit throughout this year. I mean, there's great shit like #Alive. There's a few other movies I actually said, hey, this actually is not too bad.
Some of which we will be going over in the best of.
Yeah. And then you have shit like this, that there is not a single redeeming factor throughout the entire movie. It's long, it's dull, it's pretentious, and the acting is all fucking awful. Whenever you have great actors like Ben Affleck at giving terrible performances, I mean, this is like Batman v Superman levels of just, I don't give a shit, give me my vodka.
Like, okay, I signed a contract, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now leave me alone.
Yeah, when I think of this movie, I think of the Ben Affleck meme of him just getting a good inhale of that cigarette and just, yeah, having a look like, fuck it, let's get this on. All right, come on, bitches, let's get this going.
But then I look like, fuck my life.
Yeah. Ugh, fuck this movie. Ugh. So, what do you have for your number 8? And while you do that, I'm going to look up and see who that was, the main lady.
My number 8, The Lovebirds.
Everyone unmask yourself.
Oh shit. Nobody else took their masks off.
That did not make my list, actually, despite it being bad.
Yeah, it looked bad in the trailers. Was not as bad as we were thinking it was going to be. But to be fair, I think that really had more to do with us going in with very low expectations. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, so it's not a piece of shit. It's a piece of garbage, but it's not a piece of shit.
It's a piece of garbage that accidentally some shit kind of fell on.
Yeah, had a couple of funny moments. I think 1 or 2 moments where it's like, yeah, that's us as a couple. For the most part, it just so freaking dumb.
Yeah. Though I will say, at least the trailers in the movie did not actually give away the movie's main actual overarching plot. Strange enough.
Which I forget all about.
Well, I mean, it does give away, the fact that, they see a cop kill a guy and everything. But what I mean is the fact that they're actually about to break up at the beginning of the film. After they had their, lovebird moment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, actually, the trailers never gave away the fact that they were actually just arguing the entire time. Like, pretty much this whole, like,
why are we still even together? Kind of. It's like, have we really grown that much apart? Should we, break up? Kind of the junction that I think a lot of couples encounter. I don't think we ever.
No. I
mean, we've broken up and gone back together so many times, but we've surprisingly never reached that junction in our relationship. Ever. At least not that I can remember.
I'd knock on wood, but I don't want to fuck with a microphone again. But yeah, I will.
Got Sleeping Kitty over here. Don't
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give the trailers that, and there are like a couple of funny parts in the movie, but
yeah. I think it was a men's only door.
That part's actually kind of funny to me. It's like,
yeah.
I think also it's funny to us because it still reminds us of the one time we went to Papados.
Yeah.
There was these 2 locked doors.
It's like person after person after person.
Yeah, there was 4 people right in a row, right behind each other. It's not like, there's space. Each one tried these 2 fucking locked doors. It's like, I had to hold myself because I'm just laughing.
I was like, close enough together. Like, they saw the person in front of them, and possibly the person in front of them, try this damn door. It's like, it's like, 4 people that tried this damn door? It's like, it's locked. Go around, you idiot.
While Megan chokes on her own spittle.
As the air starts to kill me. I'm sorry, did I disturb you, baby?
She's a mommy. Oh, anything else you want to say about the Lovebirds? So we'll move to my number 7. I wasn't sure where to place this. I think I might be ranking it too high because I think my score was like a 2 or something like that. I don't know. The more I thought about it, the more I actually got really fucking annoyed with this movie and I really did not like it. It's Wonder Woman 1984. I'm not. I don't. Again, what the fuck, DC? How do you keep fucking things up so badly? We have a 10-minute opening sequence, maybe 15 minutes. I think it's actually 10 minutes long. That is superfluous to the entire fucking story. And some people are like, well, it sets up the main running theme. You don't need to set up a theme in there and then have that theme continuously be regurgitated to us throughout the rest of the script. That is, again, superfluous at that point.
It also seems to contradict the first movie. The first Wonder Woman movie,
Yeah.
I should say.
And now I learned, though, why that was, and that's thanks to the fact that Patty Stupid Jenkins decided to write this instead of letting the original scriptwriter for Wonder Woman write it. So there's a huge fucking plot holes throughout the entire movie. And I get it. People are like, well, she's a great director. I don't give a shit how good of a director you are. You can be a great, fantastic director and be a shitty writer. Look at Zack Snyder. Or when people wanted to suck his dick and say he was so great, and then they're like, all right, well, let's have him actually write something. And he gave us Sucker Punch. One of the most bafflingly stupid, up its own ass, as heavy films ever. Yeah, you want a good case for why directors sometimes shouldn't be writing films? There you go. And unfortunately, this happens to be another one. And not only that, but holy balls is this movie long. Like, it's not Batman v Superman levels of long and feeling like somebody's grinding on my testicles with their heel of their shoe. But it is fucking atrociously boring at points. There's whole chunks where Wonder Woman is just doing nothing. There's whole chunks where Cheetah's, I'm going to just call her Cheetah. I don't even remember her name. I think it's something.
Like Athena, Minerva, or I
don't know. It's fucking ugly face.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, who, God, it just looks like somebody tried to put a fire out on her face with a shovel. Everybody's, that's all I can think of. But she's fucking worthless and does a lot of nothing throughout it. Then there's times whenever Maxwell Lord...
Well, I mean, she's a one stick.
Yeah, it's true. And not only that, but sorry guys, I'm going to reiterate again. You want to sit here and pass Kristen Wiig off as attractive to us, you're going to have to start slipping me some major booze on that. Because I wouldn't touch that if you paid me. I wouldn't fuck her with your dick. I'm about to break her. She's going to snort.
Oh, no, just about to pause.
Oh, guys. And not only that, but I still don't get this. The ending is probably the thing that I think aggravates me the most. Not because it's a bad ending in the fact of how she defeats Maxwell Lord. And if I can give the movie any real good credit, okay, I accept that kind of ending. You know, her not defeating him just out of pure brute strength, but defeating him via the lasso of truth, you know, and exposing true self and blah, blah, blah.
Pretty much the power of love.
Yeah, in a fashion. I don't have a huge problem with that because that does seem very true to Wonder Woman's character. I have a problem with the fact that we still want to believe that somehow a radio or a satellite signal from fucking outer space is actually tantamount to touching a human being, and I still don't know what the fuck was holding her back that was supposedly so strong she couldn't, just hold him still and then wrap him up in the cord. What the fuck threat did he hold against her? He's just sitting there holding his hands out doing this, and somehow he's using the force and pushing her away. The fucking...
Well, he is the Mandalorian.
Yeah, but that's not... He's not using his little sparrow things. This movie's stupid. There's no two ways about it. It's incredibly stupid. It's kind of almost on the watchable levels of everything. If it got really bright here with TV, just
Woo!
yeah. I mean, I kind of admire how ridiculously dumb this movie is. Like, this is a whole level of stupid I haven't seen in a while. Like, I want to go up to Patty Jenkins just like, how do you breathe? Because you got to breathe, like, somehow in the most obnoxiously over-the-top ways that nobody would have ever thought to do that way. For you to make something that stupid. But I just want to figure it out. It's like a case study in bad movies. But that's all I gotta say about that turd. So what about you? What's your number 7?
Well, for me, Seventh Heaven is... Actually, not Seventh Heaven in this case. The Witches.
Why on earth would I be carrying around a mouse?
The remake, of course.
That movie's on my list, I'll just let you know.
A very, very unnecessary. Who the fuck asked for this remake? Just wasting Octavia Spencer and Anne Hathaway, and okay, I think I get what the movie was trying to do. Was like just fell flat on its face right out of the gate. It doesn't help that they rely so much on CGI, whereas the original was so brilliant because a lot of practical effects.
But not just CGI, it's bad CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that looks really terrible. Cool, we spent no money on this. Thanks, guys. And I get CGI can only go, or it's like, well, we only can spend so much money and the budget will get too big. Ooh, answer for that. Don't use CGI. Oh, and I looked it up, and Anne Hathaway was who it was that was in the last thing he wanted. The fuck, Anne Hathaway? Are you trying to become, what's her face? I said her name. That's who I thought it was. Amy Adams. Sorry, I get them confused together because both of them have developed this weird thing about everything they want to do is either very, very bored sounding, or it's her over the top, like in Witches, where she is, she's beyond eating the scenery, she is swallowing it whole. I think I said that wrong. I don't think it's eating the scenery.
Chewing
the scenery. She was not chewing on it. I can tell you that much. She was just swallowing that motherfucker. There we go. I said good words. Words good. I'm special. Anything else you want to say about witches?
And also, another reason why this remake was so unnecessary, it's really hard to hold a candle to Angelica Houston's performance as the Grand High Witch or whatever the...
Well, Angelica Houston always understood the ability to be able to be over the top but still not be at least intimidating. And also still make it not like you're sitting there going, what the fuck are they doing this for?
And she genuinely looks scary in that makeup they had her like.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a kid watching that, I was like,
It's a creepy ass fucking flick.
mm-hmm.
I actually really like Witches, the original.
I was like, you're into it. It's like, oh, what the fuck? What is it?
Ah, fucking burn with fire.
I was like, kill it with fire.
Seems like the thing they want to kill with fire is Megan's tonsils.
Damn it. Getting old's fun.
Mm-hmm.
The air tries to kill you, your saliva tries to kill you, everything tries to kill you.
Yeah, other cars try to kill you too. That's always fun too. So do we move to my number 6?
Sure.
Oh, I had to find a spot for this. If not for the moose and squale, but also for the goddamn demon bear. New Mutants. Again, this is almost like, I almost think I like this movie and how terrible this is. There's not a single redeeming factor about the movie. The acting's bad. The CGI, 9 times out of 10, is fucking atrocious. I do like Lockheed. He's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rest of the movie's on a track, but hey, there's a cute little dragon in it. He's in it for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 40 million different ideas going on all at once. And, yeah. A lot of it just doesn't go anywhere, or just, it's so disjointed from, like, one part of the movie or another, and certain characters, like, okay, why do we need to know this backstory about you? Because you really do nothing, really add nothing to the story, or, like, you don't do anything, and the big fight at the end, and...
Oof.
And there's the bad Russian accent.
Yeah, there's a bad Southern accent, too. I don't want your life, is everything I kept hearing that guy saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, dude, that's not how Southerners sound. I don't even care if you're trying to be from Alabama, Kentucky, or wherever it is. Like,
I actually think he's supposed to be from, like, West Virginia.
yeah, something like that. And it's like,
I mean, like, his dad and his brothers were miners.
well, it doesn't matter how old they were.
I saw that coming as soon as that word miners was out of my mouth. It's like, I created the door and I walked right through it.
I was like, you walked into that one.
Mm.
Oh, just... oof.
Yeah, I'll say it was almost enjoyably bad. And at least it had potential, I think.
It had potential if they decided to stick with an idea. I wasn't particularly looking forward to the idea of a horror film based around the New Mutants. Though I was like, I guess it can get away with it, but the biggest thing I kept asking myself is like, why do we need this? But I was like, all right, well, give it to me. Let's see how it is.
And also, where does it take place in the timeline? Because you have footage from Logan. It's like, okay, well, doesn't that take place in the future, or is this the future, or is Logan in the past? Or
Again.
Exactly. It's like, huh? I'm so confused.
This movie's confused.
I was like, I'm confused enough as it is. Don't add to it.
Yes, that's very true, people.
Shut up.
So, what about yours? Number 6.
Number 6 is the movie you very blessedly missed. Enola Holmes.
You don't know how to embroider?
I tried to get her to do a review just of herself because I wanted, Megan to just flame.
I didn't want to do a review until after you had seen it too.
Okay, so just to give y'all a little bit of backstory on what happened. So
He was at work, I watched it.
yeah, And I am just sitting there at work, bored out of my mind.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm like bitching about this, that, and the other. Like, oh wait.
I pretty much got a play-by-play of the whole fucking movie. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's the thing. And I was like, well, I guess I don't need to see it. It's sort of like whenever she read 50 Shades of Grey out of morbid fucking curiosity, and I pretty much got, like, chapter by chapter synopsis. I'm like, I don't think I really need to read this book, because...
Chapter by chapter. Maybe every few chapters kind of let you know the major plot points going on.
Every day I got an update about this book. Every single fucking day.
You exaggerate.
I exaggerate about as much as a person doesn't exaggerate. Oh, so you want to talk more about Enola Holmes?
Oh, this movie is just... who the fuck is this geared towards? Is it supposed to be for teenage girls or something? Because...
Oh, Megan dies.
Hey, don't mind me. Shit. Don't mind me, just gonna croak over here. I was expecting a ribbon out of him.
See, I'll wait to rip it whenever you're drinking. This thing gives you a ribbon.
It's so unfortunate we keep our shop objects in the kitchen. This movie is so juvenile. Like, she's supposed to be Sherlock Holmes's younger, brighter sister. But she just... First of all, she talks directly to the audience. It's like, oh, first thing you need to know about me, and here's the fourth thing you need to know about me, and just... And it's like, okay, as an introduction, I don't mind that. But after a while, it really grated on my nerves. It's like, okay, I don't need you to talk to me the entire time. Just get on with the story. Get on with this big mystery.
Kept hearing from Monty Python, Holy Grail, get on with it.
And on top of that, there were two big mysteries. One didn't really get solved. And the second one just was, like, sidetracked her from the first one. And that eventually got resolved. It's like, oh, someone's trying to kill this Marquess, because... Hell, I forget why. And on top of that, it's like she's falling for this guy that she just met. And I was like, oh, well, as I'm getting to know him, I'm starting to fall in love with him. Like, as she's trying to track him down and, like, retrace his steps. It's like, how's that work? And on top of that, just trying to explain the clues every single step of the way. I was like, okay, so if this person went here, that means they had to be here. It's like, okay, thanks. I totally figured that out on my own, but thanks. This is why I think, like, it gotta be geared towards teenage girls. I mean, I know it's based on, like, a young adult series, but, ugh. And, like, just such, like, Bellatrix. So this movie playing her mother, just part of, like, this extreme, like, feminist movement. And Finnick from Hunger Games was there just to go, ew, feminism. Well, Henry Cavill was just kind of there playing not Sherlock Holmes. Just kind of there, just kind of cheering on their sister from the sidelines, like, okay, good.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah, you just got the play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my gosh, she just goes on. Ugh.
Any more you want to say about Nola Holmes?
No. It's not now my saliva trying to kill me. So, numero 5.
Yeah, we're halfway through, but just as the movie's title for this, should have left.
Maybe it's the other way round. The police finds them.
Why? Why do we keep getting these bad horror films? This is not a horror film for like 85-90% of the film. You know, that it's slightly creepy at best, and even then it doesn't build very good atmosphere. And then finally it decides to ratchet up to 11. It's like, okay, well now weird stuff's happening, and it's ripping off House of Leaves a lot. The fuck? Fuck this movie. Holy shit, is it bad.
Yeah, the movie's logic doesn't really hold any water. It's like, okay, he let his wife drown, but she's an adulteress? Like, why does he have to stay there and the mom gets to leave?
Yeah, it was a weird thing that didn't make any sense. And I get people are trying, but not only that, but it's like, we want to equate, truth and all this stuff. It's like, okay, so adultery is still in its way. It's lying. It's being unfaithful to somebody who you say you love. It's like,
yeah, it's like you were taking a solemn vow, whether you're religious or not. You have taken a vow saying that I want to be with this person and this person only for the rest of my life, and to be faithful to only that person.
Yeah, it's like, just see how that's okay to just...
I mean, yeah, Catholic guilt, I think, is supposed to come into play here, because Kevin Bacon is Catholic in this film.
Yeah, and she's not, but...
And she's like, oh my god, you really gotta get over this uptight Catholic upbringing. Which I guess means she doesn't have any guilt for the fact that she's been cheating on him with one of her co-stars.
Yeah. But it also still doesn't make up for the fact she's kind of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's another issue. I hate to be that person, but...
I was like, I forget, doesn't she blame him for her cheating?
Mm-hmm. She's like, well, you just... Like, well, fuck you, lady. Who gives a fuck? It's like, oh, he's older. You knew this before you married him.
I say you knew his age going into this.
Yeah, it's not like you suddenly, woke up one day and... Like, oh, you're suddenly 52 and I'm still 30.
I don't know the fact he's old and he can't really keep it up because he is getting older.
Not so much like he can't keep it up. He just can't keep up with her at times. He's also not as big into parties and shit like that. It's like, well, what the fuck did you think, lady? Mm-hmm. It's like, this should have been news before you married him. I really wonder if screenwriters before... Well, technically it's supposed to be based on a novel, but whatever. But I really wonder if screenwriters, when they decide to start casting this and putting these together, they realize, like, hey, so, why would they not know about this before they got married? You think this would have been a thing they would have talked about or dealt with, had a fight over beforehand? Why are we seeing this now?
And also, why would a homebody like him and kind of a social butterfly like her, how would they have ever made as far in their relationship as marriage?
Yeah.
That's not realistic.
Oh, no, it's just if you turn on, you just know you should have left.
Should have left the film alone.
Yeah. So, what about you? What's your number 5?
Well, movie we've already talked about, so not much left to say. Birds of Prey.
Unless we work together.
Ugh, God, it's still such a bad taste.
I was like,
in my
I'm
mouth.
all for girl power, but fucking hell. He just does not achieve it well. I mean, there's that one fight scene in the funhouse, which is kind of like, oh, hey, I got your back, sister. Kind of, it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. And it's, kind of neat the way it was shot. It wasn't too bad.
But if the best thing you can say about it is like, hey, there's one scene that I don't hate.
Yeah, and, Gregor, that's another thing we tried to mention earlier. Like, Gregor just absolutely wasted. It's like, I can't even, like you or like to hate you. Like, you're just this annoying, spoiled little brat. Just, go away. Go in timeout. Just
Let the big kids have their fun over here, guys. Well,
he's a self-important wiener with too much bloody money.
too much bloody money. Shout out to Gun 6 Seconds remake. For Nick Cage.
I keep forgetting that's a remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've already talked about my number 4, but Jesus, Anne Hathaway, stop. You were terrible in one movie that I've seen this year. Why'd you have to ruin one of my childhood favorite films with witches?
Into a mouse. Whoa!
Just stop, please, guys. Just stop with all this shit. Maybe we just need to quit remaking Roald Dahl books. It wasn't working good with Charlie and Chocolate Factory whenever y'all did that shit with Johnny Depp. It didn't work here. Nope. Just stop it all.
Just give it up, call it a, go home, fuck off.
Yep. That's all I want to say about it. So what about you? What about you for 4?
Gretel and Hansel.
Should I tell you something?
What's that?
That's my number 3.
Delicious.
Oh my goodness, that movie was so... again, it was going for this gothic atmosphere. But god damn, it was so slow and so boring. And the overall message of, we women were magic and one with nature and all this, good shit. But in order to tap into this power, we have to give ourselves over to the dark side, throw out the yoke of, motherhood and wifedom, just...
And family.
Yeah, it's like, family holds you back, is basically what it's saying.
Yeah.
It's like, you cannot be who you truly are meant to be as a woman if you have a family.
Yeah.
Of any sort.
And it's not even talking about, just being a mother, but being, in this case with the little girl, a sister. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
A mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter. It's like, just throw off the ties that bind and, be free and, embrace your dark side.
Yes.
It's like, okay, that's whatever happened to the right to choose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the reason why women fought for all these rights back in the 60s and the 20s was so we could have the right to choose. It's like, we can be wives and mothers, we could be single, or we can be just wives with no kids whatsoever.
I can tell you exactly what the choice was they made with this. Not to turn on a fucking light, because this movie is shot in pitch fucking black.
And there's that. And everyone... Is that occasional... Ah!
It's like,
The fuck?
this isn't scary, I just finally woke the fuck up.
It's like...
That's why. It's bad. It's an hour and a half long movie, and it feels like it's 3.5.
Was it only an hour and a half?
Yeah, it is literally an hour and a half.
Oh,
it's an hour and
fuck
27
me.
minutes.
Fuck me.
It felt every second of its length.
Yeah, where you have movies like what was it? Captain America, Civil War.
Yeah, it's 2.5. It doesn't feel its length.
Or like Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame. 2 or 3 hours long. did not feel it. Mm-mm. You know, you kept waiting for like the next thing. Like, oh my god, like how's this gonna turn out? Like,
Girl, Hansler's just like, can we fucking end this shit?
yeah, I was like, yeah, you're just waiting for the end. I was like, ugh. I was like, it's only been 5 minutes. God damn, it feels like an hour.
It didn't help. It was trying to be an art film, and
Yeah.
it was artful fartsy. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. So, want to move to your number 3 since I already talked about my number 3 now?
Number 3 is the only reason why Gretel Hansel was not number 3. Artemis Fowl.
I'm the next criminal mastermind.
Now look around, this is what...
Be honest with y'all. I meant to put it on the list. I just couldn't find space. I wanted to put it there.
So how much shit we went through last year.
Yeah. So, Artemis Fowl. And the way to not adapt a book.
Well, it doesn't help it was in production hell for I don't know how many years. It's like the main kid went through puberty like twice already by the time the movie finished wrapping.
I think they said that by the time they need to do like some supplemental shots, like I think they did in like 2019 or something like that. When the movie original was first supposed, or not the first time it was supposed to come out, but like they're like, all right, we'll guarantee it's gonna come out in 2019. I think he was like they had to tell him to speak a little bit higher pitch because he was entering puberty at that time. You could tell like he varies in height drastically in certain shots. Oh, this Irish Fowl's bad, guys. It's
just downright foul.
And also I want to know why would their surname be after a duck?
Actually, fowl is like pretty much just a like a chicken or a duck or well, a duck would be like a waterfowl.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know why anybody would have that.
I don't know what to tell you, and also why is their first name Artemis, and also why is the dad named Artemis Fowl and the son is named Artemis Fowl?
Yeah, and he doesn't refer to him as Junior either, which is weird.
And he's supposed to be this like genius, boy genius, like he's a fucking little prick.
Yeah, he's more an asshole. He's a boy asshole is what he is.
I would say he's a rich prick. Doesn't even know that much more than adults. It's like, okay, like, and like there's some elements that there were potential there, like the whole thing with the fairies, and just wasting Judi Dench.
I don't know what the fuck they did with Judi Dench. I don't know what shit Ken Branagh has on her, but let her go, please, man. Let her not have to star in the second one if you get greenlit for it.
Please
I'm
don't.
pretty sure you won't, but please no. Let her not have to worry about this shit.
Also, the whole thing with the thing that kidnapped his dad.
Oh yeah.
Like the identity, like obviously being left for another movie. It's like, why? Why could you not wrap it up in one film? I mean, is that something that like spans like several books?
Yeah, because actually the stuff about his dad getting kidnapped and them kind of rescuing him, that's not in the first book. I read the first book. Sorry, y'all. First book's kind of bad. It's not really good.
Well, if they're changing things up, then I don't see why they can't just reveal this thing's identity. Or maybe they just want to do more build up to it. It's like, just...
Nobody cares. You can obviously see that this movie's bad, so why bother with it?
Mm-hmm. And we're obviously not getting any sequels, hopefully. So it's like, okay, so this thing is never going to get resolved. So what's the point? But what?
Well, that's so that way we can have Josh Gad narrating over 85% of this fucking movie.
With that gravelly voice.
Yeah. Which, and that's the bad thing, is like his performance is not bad. Like it works for the character of what he's supposed to be. Except, despite the fact the CGI they decided to use was terrible. But it's like.
Like he unhinges his jaw like a snake.
Yeah, and literally shits dirt. It's like, the fuck am I watching right now?
Did someone slip me some acid?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
It's just... It's bad, guys. It's a real bad film. It's like Billy Eilish. So, I want to move to my number 2. My number poop. I do not get tired of that joke ever. I think...
Because you are 12 years old, trapped in the body of a 33-year-old. I think for a second, how old are you now?
Thanks, honey.
I'm like, wait, before sometimes I forget how old I am. It's like, wait, am I 33, 34, 35? I cannot even remember.
Well, I will just say, I think our number 2s might be the same, because I'm surprised it hasn't popped up on yours. And that, of course, is another Disney Plus thing that decided to come out this year. It's called Mulan. Oh, so we got it together. Yeah.
I will bring honor to us all.
Oh. Why is this movie so boring? Why is it so bereft of actual color whenever most Chinese films that are supposed to be set in the feudal era of Japan, or not Japan, of China, are usually very full of color? I hate to compare it to a not super great movie like The Great Wall, but that movie was full of color, and strangely enough, on a much smaller budget, had much better CGI. And only that, but why the fuck does Chi do whatever the fuck we need from the plot? I honestly, like I still say it from my review, I still say it to this day. What was the point?
Any other than to rape my childhood?
Rape my childhood?
It tries so hard to hit so many, like, famous beats of the original. It was so devoid of any heart and soul, of anything that made the original Mulan so good. I mean, I'm not saying the original Mulan was like a freaking masterpiece, but it's like, I like Mulan.
And honestly, I still don't understand the idea behind cutting out Mushu. Like, they could have got a funny actor of Asian descent. Oh, I don't know. What's his name from Harold and Kumar? The guy who plays Harold.
John Cho?
Yeah, John Cho. I know he's Korean, guys. I know. Don't flame me. And I get but there are some of these actors in here that I know are not of Chinese descent. Mm-hmm. You could have got John Cho to voice a Mushu, and he can be very funny, y'all.
Yeah, when I was seeing the sorceress, it's like, why the fuck was she in this? I mean, I love this actress. She is beautiful. She's a good actress.
She's good in anything but this.
But, like, I'm not saying she's Polynesian. So
I'll look it up here in a second.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I was like, I really want to say she's of Polynesian descent.
Yeah, and it's like, guys, we can get away with, using Asian actors if you want to say that, we're not going to use white people or black people because can't dare get a person of color, actually a job unless they fit a certain criteria. Thanks, guys.
I mean, if you're going to go for historical accuracy, sure, yeah, fine, whatever.
But you wouldn't have a goddamn phoenix pointer in the right damn direction every time, like Navi from fucking Zelda.
Or that one black dude from the Beauty and the Beast remake. I didn't mind him in there. I was like, okay, if y'all are going for historical accuracy, you're kind of shooting yourselves in the foot.
Yeah. Well, it's...
I mean, like, minor issue of historical accuracy, but I was like, no bearing whatsoever on film. I'll say that.
I just...
Getting back to this piece of shit.
Ooh.
Like,
The bad thing is, I don't know what good Mulan really did, and that's what I struggled with almost ranking it as the worst film. It almost got to be the worst movie of this year, because there's so little it does good. Like, the best I could say is Mulan's dad. He's not the worst actor in the world, but that's because he's actually a very, very, very good actor. But he's given nothing of substance. Instead, he's just meant to say these bullshit lines that you expect. Everybody else is either over the top, very fucking subdued, like Mulan's main character, because that's the best thing. Have a wooden main character. That makes your film fun. Or on top of everything, you just have this plot that just plods along, and you have a final act that's 90% action. Hey, that's fine, but if you'd spread it out, you would have had at least a slightly more interesting film. Have a battle where they bonded together as, brothers and all that. I know that's not true to the Disney classic, but you're already changing a lot anyway, so who fucking cares?
I was like, they bonded during training in the original.
Well, I'd say, have that, but if you're not going to have a number, like you're not going to have the make a man out of you pretty much training montage, have them bond in a battle. They're dealing with like some raiders and they kind of come together. Maybe Mulan shows off a little bit, and that kind of just is how she decides to start kind of being, I might keep showing off a little bit more and more. Would have been at least something. And also would have broke some of this shit up. Instead of have an hour and a half nearly of nothing happening. Yeah.
Is it only an hour and a half?
Oh, this movie's nearly 2 hours long. No, I'm just saying it took nearly an hour and a half to get to the final fucking scene.
It took 2 hours just to get to the final scene. Oh my goodness. There are no words. It's like, it tried to, I think it's trying to take a cue from Beauty and the Beast remake and try to expand on certain things. The thing is, a lot of things they expanded upon did not really need to be expanded upon.
Well, we actually kind of discussed this a little bit because we kind of noticed we make our list separate from each other for the purpose of no cohesion purposely, not because I don't want to influence Megan's list, and no offense, I don't want Megan to influence my list as well. But when we're about to talk about we're talking about our number one.
It's the same.
It is. It was the movie that I was hoping was going to make us want to stay going back to the theaters and everything. It's a good reason to make us want to get away from them. Let's say it together. Tenet.
This reversing the flow of time. Doesn't us being here now mean it never happened?
Why? Christopher Nolan, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I didn't have high hopes, but I had hopes. The trailers made it look like, okay, this looks like it could be interesting, like about time travel. I guess I was so curious. Okay, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, what's the big mystery?
Instead, it's this pseudoscience bullshit that constantly flip-flops on how it fucking works, sometimes outright ignores its own fucking rules, and also is this spy thriller where the lead character literally does not have a name.
He's just protagonist.
Yeah, it's like, you are shitting me. You bunch of lazy bastards could not even give him a name. Call him his actual fucking name at that point. Pardon me. Call him John. I don't care. It's like, yeah, that's lazy as fuck. At least he's got a goddamn name. And not only that, but you have this movie where I honestly couldn't care about anybody. That there was a I really want to say he's from either Russia or Ukraine. I want to say he's from Ukraine. It's another YouTuber. His name is Filmento. He actually goes deep dives into a lot of movies and talks about them. Turn on subtitles if you're English, just because he does speak a little fast. So sometimes certain words he goes through a little quickly.
Much like Tenet.
Yeah, he
really could have done some closed captions for this movie.
Yeah, he breaks down a lot of the movie and the fact that one of the main things that destroys the movie is the fact there is no emotional core throughout this entire movie. With a main character who has no fucking name, and also we don't know the relationship with all these other characters. They're just pretty much people who are working alongside each other. You lose all the ability to want to give a single solitary fuck about any of this. And you just end up with this hollow fucking bullshit movie where the sound mixing sounds like garbage.
And I was like, can we turn down the volume of the music and turn up the conversation here? Because I cannot hear a word people are saying. First of all, everyone's mumbling. Second of all, everyone's trying to get to the scene as fast as possible, like Tommy Wiseau in the fucking flower shop.
I just had the image of John Day Washington coming in there backwards doing that scene. It's really funny to me.
I think I broke him.
Yeah.
And third, the music, which does not really go with anything in this damn movie, is turned up to 11. It's like, I'd rather hear what they're saying, especially if it's pertinent to the story, pertinent to
the plot.
Yeah, like the big mystery, to like what is going on. I mean, if they're shooting the shit, okay, I guess I don't need to know what's going on, what's being said, but it's like, come on. It's like, if it involves the story, actually, like, we, the audience, need to know what's happening in order to understand Mr. Up His Own Ass, Christopher Nolan, his, vision for this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, you can look at just comparing two Christopher Nolan movies that look at or deal with pseudoscience and nonsense. Inception and Tenet. Both of them are really out there concepts, for lack of a better way to put it. But one has a very emotional core within it. You have the main character, Cobb. First off, he does at least have a goddamn name. Who is trying to get home to see his children, who he has not seen in years. And we learn that he's he can't build any more mazes and shit like that, even though he's a good dream builder for people, because of the emotional trauma he is dealing with from the death of his wife. And also, he's one of the people who actually proved pretty much the concept of Inception. And not only that, but it's not too weird of an idea within itself. It's odd, don't get me wrong. The idea of dreams within a dream within a dream, and then a dream within that as well. But
it's just plausible enough.
Yeah.
To draw you in. And also, it's like the movie itself is like visually stunning.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I would say also Inception in comparison to Tenet, what it actually accomplished a lot better is the fact that it didn't spend all this time trying to build up how Inception works within itself, except for the fact that he does explain, it's like, you have to watch it because if you do too strong of a memory or give too much of an idea to somebody, you can shake them to their core. And it's like, and that's something you don't want to do. if it's not done correctly. Okay, that's all they had to say. And literally, it's only brought up like once, and it's fine. Tenet keeps flip-flopping on how its science works, explains it in this overtly long sequence with the leaves whispering, it sounds like she just took 12 volumes. And
it sounds like there are no shits she could be giving.
Yeah. Like, honestly, if you gave me, like, a super hyperactive girl who's, kind of a little annoying, but she's, like, really cool with this kind of stuff, that would be a lot better. And I think that would get across your point. You could have had, like, Emma Stone's character, or not Emma Stone. Yeah, Emma Stone from Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, how she was. Have her...
Like, oh my god!
Yeah, like, doing something like that, that would have worked. It would have been annoying, but at least, one, it would give that scene some energy. It would at least allow us to, we're going to...
Give it at least some sense of urgency.
Yeah, instead of us just sitting there like, okay, I don't care. What does that do with anything? What does that do with Dick? I don't care, don't care. Go next fucking scene.
Yeah, it's like, I guess she's, like, used to this concept by now, but it's like the world may or may not be coming to an end soon. You want to, give this a sense of urgency and sense of importance.
You want to kind of explain how the fuck this actually fucking gonna work?
Mm-hmm.
Something?
And also that logic of, the future is trying to restore the future by killing the past. Look, what? It's like, if you end the world in the past, then that means there is no future.
And only
which
that,
kind of creates kind of a time paradox, which the future would never be able to send that stuff back because they wouldn't have it, because they wouldn't exist. They do it in their own cross-eyed.
Yeah, and ultimately that is the big problem. Is like the movie, it's a cool concept that it decided to just bank solely on the concept. Like, there are some admittedly impressive looking stuff here and there, though that's another thing, actually, surprisingly, where Inception really played around with the idea of dreams and fucking around with stuff. Oh, there's a goddamn train that goes through the middle of a fucking busy city intersection. They take out a goddamn tower up in the fucking mountains just cuz. But, and only that, but everybody remembers also the elevator, or not the elevator, but the fight sequence that...
In the hallway?
Yeah, the hallway fight sequence. Like, that one was really fucking well done.
For stuff folding in on it, so I was like...
Yeah. Here, like, there's a few moments like that, but there's not enough of it to care. There's not enough big moments like that. Instead, there's a lot of stuff that you're going to forget about. Big, oh yeah, I forgot that they crashed an airplane into a building.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, now I see what you're saying. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
That's the one like, like aha kind of moments. Like, the movie didn't really earn them. It just cleared up a bit of confusion and then moved on to the next thing. It's like, okay.
What honestly would have been a lot better is if instead, like, have the big battle that they have at the end of the movie, which, holy shit, that felt like a shitty end for a Call of Duty game or something. Like, literally, it's just a bunch of guys just running around shooting guns.
They went on way too long, and, like, you couldn't really even tell what was happening. It's like, I think they were all on the same side, but, like, they were in different teams. One shooting at a building, it, like, puts itself back together. Another team shoots at the building as well, and it explodes. Or something. It's like, what?
What would have been more interesting is if the entire premise of the movie, instead of it being all this explaining, all of it, you have the beginning is actually that final fight sequence. John David Washington, let's say it's set it anywhere, set in Syria or somewhere, and they're fighting through this entire, like, army situation, and they start coming across the stuff going backwards, and it's killing a lot of his guys. First off, you then can have him, make him be a captain or something who's losing his platoon, well, company technically is probably what a captain would lead, but not going to get into the military stuff of it, but whatever. He's losing men left and right. Brothers in arms. He's losing his men to something that he doesn't understand, doesn't control, or anything like that. And you can have then a cool fight sequence the entire way, and maybe they sit aside and start discussing it. And maybe there's still kind of stuff that's going around that is going backwards around them. And it's fucking with them. And they're starting to not believe what's happening. And then, boom, in the middle, you explain everything. At that point, I've been intrigued by the entire thing. I've watched it happen. And only that, but the main character's got a goddamn name and also has some fucking stakes in the entire thing. This movie's not that hard to rewrite. All you have to do is remove the main point of the movie, which was a spy thriller shit that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like Christopher Nolan came up with a concept. Like, you know what? How about everything goes backwards in time, but it's in the present?
Yeah, it's like, okay,
It's like, okay, well, what else? And that's it. That's the movie.
Yeah, and...
Okay. Like, he had just a concept and didn't really flesh it out before it turned into a film.
Yeah.
It's like, who let him get away with that?
Right, same people let Zack Snyder direct a movie that he wrote.
Probably.
But yeah, that's our worst of the years. Oh yeah, Tenet was a special something, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. I just love these Christopher Nolan fanboys. Well, I didn't really understand it, and I couldn't really hear what was going on, but I liked it.
That sounds like a lot of reasons why I wouldn't like a movie.
Uh-huh.
But hey, we'll try to be back within... Well, I know I keep editing these weirdly. Sorry, y'all. But we'll try to be back as soon as possible with the best of, like I said, I'm going to try and see if I can make Megan to watch a few more movies. It's some that I think are actually good, or some that she might have missed that were legitimately good. Just so that way she can have more fleshed out instead of having to go, well, this one wasn't the worst piece of shit I've seen, so it makes number 9. But yeah, until then, yeah, fuck 2020.
With a big rubber rainbow dildo up its fucking ass so far you hit teeth.
Megan's a little violent about it.
Me? Never. I'm speaking this. I have no idea what you're speaking.
But hey, until then, we'll see y'all later. So, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.